The story begins with a cunning thief named Diabolik, who was attempting to break into a jewelry company called Armin late at night. Inside this building was the country's most valuable treasure, a priceless crown. Surprisingly, the crown was guarded by only one security officer, while the rest of the guards were busy playing cards. Taking advantage of this carelessness, Diabolik slipped inside, killed the lone guard, and made his way to the crown's chamber. But the moment he entered, the security alarm went off, alerting the other guards. They rushed to the room, but couldn't open the door because Diabolik had blocked the keyhole from the inside. With no option left, the guards decided to blow up the door with a bomb. By the time they got in, however, Diabolik had already stolen the crown and escaped through the skies on his paraglider. He landed on a moving car driven by his girlfriend Eva, and together, they disappeared with the priceless treasure. The very next evening, Armin Company held a glamorous jewelry show to display its rare collection. 5 stunning supermodels took the stage, dancing gracefully while wearing the company's most precious gems. The jewels were so mesmerizing that everyone in the audience longed to own them. To prevent another theft, police officers were stationed all around the hall. But just before the performance ended, the entire place went dark. A guard quickly ordered the models to be escorted to a safe room so no one could steal the jewels under the cover of darkness. However, this so-called safe room turned out to be the back of a truck. The officer who locked the girls inside was none other than Diabolik himself, disguised in a policeman's mask. Driving the truck away, he stripped the models of their jewelry and abandoned them on a deserted road. The 5 girls, shaken but determined, walked to a nearby restaurant for help. There, a boy tried to harass them, but one of the girls twisted his hand and put him in his place. That's when it was revealed. These weren't ordinary dancers, but undercover agents sent to catch Diabolik. Their leader, Agent Burov, called Officer Ginko from the restaurant's phone to update him. Ginko, who had spent half his life chasing Diabolik, finally had a lead. Burov explained that their plan had worked. Diabolik had taken the bait. They had secretly hidden GPS trackers inside the jewelry, allowing them to trace him straight to his hideout. Meanwhile, Diabolik and Eva returned to their secret lair built inside a massive mountain. Unaware of the trap, they laid out all their stolen treasures and celebrated their success. With so much wealth, Eva suggested they take a break and go on a trip. But Diabolik, obsessed with his criminal ambitions, refused and instead began planning his next big heist. At the same time, Ginko and his team tracked the GPS signal to the mountain. However, they were puzzled when the signal pointed directly inside a giant rock. Inspecting it closely, Ginko ordered dynamite to be placed. The blast revealed a hidden tunnel leading straight into Diabolik's underground base. Watching everything unfold on the CCTV cameras, Diabolik and Eva quickly abandoned their stolen treasures and fled through a secret escape route. When Ginko and his team stormed into the lair, they found nothing but piles of loot. The thieves had already vanished. Soon, Ginko noticed the escape path and began chasing them. While running, Eva's foot got trapped between the rocks, and she desperately called out for help. But seeing Ginko closing in, Diabolik betrayed her, leaving her behind to save himself. Heartbroken, Eva struggled to free herself. By the time she managed to pull her leg out, Ginko was almost upon her. With no other choice, she leapt from a cliff into the raging river below, vanishing from sight. In this way, both Diabolik and Eva slipped from Jinko's grasp once again. Back at the hideout, Jinko's team uncovered mountains of treasures: gold bars, priceless paintings, jewelry, and more. Among these riches, Ginko found a map pointing to an old building on the city's outskirts, likely another one of Diabolik's secret bases. Without wasting time, the team rushed there and began searching. During the sweep, an officer accidentally triggered a hidden door that led straight to the basement. Inside, they discovered Diabolik's workshop, the very place where he crafted his masterful masks for his heists. Ginko instructed his team not to touch anything, convinced that Diabolik would return here before his next mission. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Altea, the Queen of Wellenberg and Jinko's beloved. When she met Ginko, their conversation naturally drifted toward marriage. But Ginko, consumed by his lifelong mission, confessed he couldn't marry until Diabolik was finally behind bars. Understanding his dedication, Altea promised to wait and invited him to her upcoming party. She planned to wear her most treasured necklace that night and wanted Ginko by her side to protect both her and the jewel. That night, Diabolik returned to his hidden base. Using a concealed microphone, he listened through the walls to overhear the policeman on duty. He learned that Officer Roller was now guarding the basement. Soon after, Diabolik boldly opened the basement door. Startled, Roller unleashed a storm of bullets, but they bounced harmlessly off a thick glass barrier separating them. The noise drew the rest of the officers, who rushed downstairs. But when they arrived, they found Roller lying unconscious on the ground. Diabolik had tricked them once again, stealing his precious mask-making machine before disappearing into the shadows. When Ginko learned about the mask machine being stolen right under his team's nose, he was furious. Diabolik had once again humiliated the police by sneaking in and out while they were on duty. The next day, Ginko was called to a meeting with his senior officers to plan their next move. But in the middle of the discussion, they received an unexpected call. It was Eva. Eva offered to help the police capture Diabolik, but only under one condition: complete freedom for herself. She demanded that all charges against her be dropped and that she be safely sent to another country. She gave them 30 minutes to decide before hanging up. Ginko's superiors saw this as a golden opportunity and urged him to agree, insisting that catching Diabolik was more important than anything else. But Ginko strongly opposed the idea. He didn't want just Diabolik, he wanted Eva behind bars too. Determined, Ginko shared a counterplan with his team. The next time Eva called, he would keep her engaged in conversation while the police traced her location. When Eva called again, Ginko began stalling her with small talk. Meanwhile, a squad traced the signal and raced to the source. But to their disappointment, Eva wasn't hiding in a secret base. She was calling from a simple roadside phone booth. Spotting the police closing in, Eva made a daring escape through a hidden tunnel nearby, slipping out of their grasp once more. On the other side of the investigation, Agent Elena was examining items recovered from Diabolik's lair when she noticed something odd. One of the jewelry bracelets was missing. She immediately informed Ginko, who instantly realized the truth. Eva must have taken the bracelet with her. That was a mistake on her part, because the bracelet was one of the pieces in which the police had hidden a GPS tracker. Jinko's hunch was correct. Using the tracker, the police traced Eva's exact location. Agent Roller, eager to redeem himself after being knocked out by Diabolik earlier, rushed to the spot and pointed a gun at Eva's head. This was his chance to prove his worth. But Eva was faster. She disarmed Roller with a sudden attack, snatched his gun, stole a police car, and sped away. By the time Ginko arrived, he found Roller unconscious on the ground once again. To make matters worse, Roller had foolishly removed the GPS bracelet from Eva's wrist, cutting off their only lead. Frustrated, the department declared Roller unfit for field duty. From now on, he was reassigned to work with Agent Elena, handling the stolen goods investigation, while the hunt for Diabolik and Eva continued. Ginko's senior officers were furious with him for defying orders and gave him a final warning. If he violated instructions again, he would be removed from the case. With no other choice, Ginko decided to capture both Diabolik and Eva together. To coordinate secretly, he sent a coded message to Eva through the newspaper. After reading it, Eva called him, and the two devised a daring plan to meet that evening. Eva explained that Diabolik would stop at nothing to reclaim his stolen treasures. To trap him, they would spread word, through undercover channels, that the police were moving all the stolen goods to a secure location. Meanwhile, a bulletproof truck would be used as a decoy, making Diabolik believe that all the loot was inside. The real treasures, however, would be hidden in a seemingly dilapidated van, drawing no suspicion. Eva further instructed that when Diabolik chased the truck, they would lure him into a tunnel where the police could surround him from all sides. Ginko loved the plan and immediately set it in motion the next day. With the help of an undercover agent, he carefully leaked the information that the police were transferring the stolen goods. He also met his girlfriend, Altea, to explain that he wouldn't be able to attend her party that night due to the mission. However, he assured her that his most capable officer would be there to protect her and her precious necklace. Finally, the day of the operation arrived. Altea, in preparation for her party, called the city's top makeup artist and began getting ready. Meanwhile, a special police squad was assembled for the mission, and Ginko meticulously briefed them on the strategy to catch Diabolik once and for all. The stage was set for a high-stakes confrontation. As the mission began, the commanding officer asked who would drive the rickety van carrying the real stolen goods. Roller eagerly volunteered, determined to redeem himself and correct his past mistakes. Despite Agent Elena's repeated attempts to stop him, Roller insisted on taking charge. The real treasures were loaded into the simple van, and the team was ready. At the same time, the heavily guarded bulletproof truck carrying the decoy loot was sent on its route. Roller drove the van with the actual goods in the opposite direction, setting the stage for the trap. As the police convoy reached the tunnel, its exit was suddenly blocked and thick smoke filled the air. Amidst the chaos, a mysterious figure appeared, causing the officers to raise their guns, only to discover it was a wax statue. Meanwhile, at the party, Altea realized her priceless necklace had gone missing, stolen without a trace. Rolar, however, had altered his route, driving through a deserted forest road. There, he encountered Eva, and it was revealed that she had stolen Altea's necklace by disguising herself as her makeup artist. In a shocking twist, Rolar removed his mask, revealing that he was actually Diabolik in disguise. A flashback revealed the genius behind this plan. When Diabolik had seemingly abandoned Eva during their earlier chase, it was all a ruse to fool Ginko and make him trust her words. Eva had escaped through a secret passage after jumping into the river, just as Diabolik had intended. Diabolik then killed Rolar, crafted a mask of his face, and assumed his identity, successfully deceiving the entire police force and reclaiming his loot. When Ginko discovered the truth, he was devastated. Neither Diabolik nor Eva could be caught, and Altea's necklace was lost. Meanwhile, Diabolik and Eva left the city, taking all their stolen treasures with them, and began a new life in another city. With their daring heists and clever escapes, the story ended, leaving the world in awe of the cunning duo.